Yo, what up?
Yo, what's up, Jared?
What's going on? So we're here for Zoom at noon, and this is my buddy Gunnar. Gunnar and I actually haven't known each other too long, but like it's pretty much. I was told when I was introduced to Gunnar from our old former wrestling coach. We were both wrestlers, Pencrest High School, and you were Pencrest.
Yeah, Pencrest.
But Coach Frank wasn't the coach then. But you wrestled with his sons or something. Is that right?
Yeah, I wrestled with the oldest son, Ronnie. We grew up together.
Nice. So we've known each other through our wrestling coach and my wrestling coach Frank, who a lot of our younger students would know as Mr. Frank from Indian Lane Elementary School, right? So a legend in Delco.
Definitely a legend.
A legend. He should be a worldwide legend because he's such a great dude. But he said like, yo, you got to get together with this dude, Gunnar. Gunnar is you just 10 years younger or something like that. And I was like, oh, dude, I could use a younger me that's like got more energy still. So me and Gunnar got in touch. Gunnar's a great percussionist, right? He played a lot of snare drum, and so he has a musical background, but his real passion is videography and photography. So he helped out with our kids rock program, and then then we kind of had him start doing more like photography, videography for our programs. And it was like, cause it's finding what people are really good at and then putting them in that position is like what we're all about. So, and we're really excited to work with Gunnar in the future on some stuff because now that like, I know I haven't done like the full official announcement, but we're moving to a new space. So, and it's like an old, and the previous owner who is a current Rockdale student's parent, used it as a video production space for like a speaker series. So it's really set up to do great video and photography already. So me and Gunnar are chatting again now about like how can we create some cool photography and videography programs over there that tie into music or don't tie into music, maybe just some street photography and some cool stuff. And we got a creek running through our backyard, so nature photography, you got all these great options. But Gunnar's here today to talk to us about just how to get good photo and video from this little camera that you've got pretty much everywhere you go now, right? Everybody's got a really, I put in the description of this is like 10, 15 years ago, any amateur photographer would kill for a camera like this, right?
That's so true.
So, and we're all spoiled and we have it in our pocket and we get mad at this thing more than it's amazing what this thing can do. Right. So, but as with any tool, you have to know how to use it right now. And Gunnar and, there's the difference between being a photographer and a videographer and an iPhone photographer and videographer, right? That's like, and not that you can get as good of photos and video as Gunnar can with his great camera, but he's going to show you how to use this to get the best video and photography you can get. And it's high quality enough that you could make some really great stuff with just this, right?
Right.
So, all right, Gunnar, go ahead, man, kick it off and I'll just pop in with some questions. Jude might pop in with some questions. I'll keep an eye on the Facebook chat too.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Just in case anybody pops in with some questions. And there's a Q&A here. So anybody who pops in, jump in.
So I guess like the best place to start is with iPhone videography and photography is you want to think about where you want to put your end video. You know what I mean? So if you want to put it on YouTube, you probably want to be recording landscape instead of vertical. If you know it's going to go on like Instagram, vertical is probably a better option. So before you even record, keep in mind where you want your final product to go.
Right.
And then we can move into like the settings. So make sure you're taking full advantage of all of the settings that your camera might have. I would like go into like settings, general, go to the camera settings and check out all the options it has. I can talk just a little bit about them.
Yeah, that'd be great to run through a couple of those when.
Yeah, so they have different settings, like depending on what your phone is. They have like 1080, which is like the resolution. It'll list the resolution, and then the frame rate next to it will be for example, it'll be like 1080 and then 30 frames a second, which is like that's pretty much what everything's in 30 or 24 is what we like see. And then there'll be a little more higher resolution, 4K. It will probably be an option. And you can use that. The file size is going to be really big, but if you want that really high quality video, that is the way to go right there.
So could you explain like resolution and frame rate like quickly? I mean, I know that could, but just like a basic, maybe just like a beginner's description of.
I guess I can break it down in that the resolution is just how clear the image looks. That is like the basic way.
And the higher the number.
And the higher the number, the more shots it takes every second. So
okay.
A video is a bunch of pictures, right? So if it's 30 frames, it takes 30 pictures in 1 second and pushes it together. If it's 60, it takes 60. So it'll look, higher frame rates will look a lot more smoother because there is just more images.
Right. Which is exactly the same way. This is the cool thing about like recording video and recording music. It all is like exact, like what do you do? Like we take, it's how many pictures of sound you get. Right. That's like, it's just how many pictures per sound per second. And it's, you know, it's actually a lot higher when you're talking audio. You're talking, it's thousands of pictures per second. Right. But frame rate is very similar to audio stuff and photography, videography. If you learn how to do recording stuff, like edit recording, it's pretty easy to figure out how to switch it to photography and videography. Like EQ would be like colorization, right? Like, and compression. We both use compression just in different ways. So anyway.
Yeah. So, and while talking about frame rate, if you want to manipulate your footage after you take it and slow it down, maybe higher frame rates are better for that. Okay. The higher you shoot, you can get that nice slow-mo footage. And I'm pretty sure if you have an iPhone or any Android, 60 frames is definitely an option. And with that, you can slow it down 50%. So that's cool if you're shooting like cool, like at home music videos, or I don't know, just taking cool video of or pictures of your dog running in your backyard.
Yeah. That's a good tip.
Yeah. And
I'm just looking at my camera to see if I can find the camera settings. I have like I have a super old
iPhone.
I have a 6S. So I'm like, I'm rolling like super old, but
it might still be the same.
Oh, dude, yeah. My record video, I have 4K at 30 frames per second, or I could do 1080p HD at 60 frames per second. So, and I could do 30 frames per second at 1080p or 720p frames per second. So,
and iPhone's pretty good. Apple's pretty good in that they kind of, because these are a lot of numbers here. They have like a little description of like what setting might be best for you. So in the settings, if you're not sure which camera settings to pick, it does lay out like what you might use each one for. Like just reading the first one, 720 HD at 30 frames is like the space saver option. So the lower frame rate and the lower resolution will, like if you don't always want that storage error coming up on your phone, that is definitely the option that you want to pick for. Right.
And it does have the record slow-mo option in my settings too that gives you either 1080p, I don't know if you can see it in there.
Yeah.
1080p at actually 120 frames per second or 720p at 240 frames per second. So,
I guess this is a good segue into lighting. And so when you are recording at a higher frame rate, you will, since you can't manually adjust things like shutter speed in the iPhone, it will do it for you. And when you're recording at higher frame rate, you need more light. So
Right.
at home lighting setups are very important. And it's something that can be super like DIY. You don't need any crazy like studio lighting to get really good shots in your house. All you need, if like I've been using this like little light panel right here. It puts out a lot. And if you like, so shine, you would definitely want the light to be coming at you, right? You definitely want it to be on your face.
Right.
But if you're finding the light is too harsh, light works really cool in that you can reflect it off things. You can bounce it off things. So if it looks too harsh on your face and all you have is like a flashlight that is like really hitting the side of your face or the front of your face hard, and everything else is like underexposed because it's compensating for just your face, you can just turn, instead of it facing you, just turn it around and point it at the wall. It'll hit the wall and it'll come back on you in a lot softer manner and make for a better shot.
Hey, that's just like recording too. Reverb, right? Sound,
right? Yeah.
It's reflections. I knew this was gonna like happen, that it was just gonna all cross over.
Yeah.
But it's great to see how much this is like already like. Pew. Yeah, I mean, same thing. Like I'll show you what I have without any of my lighting on. So I have like a backlight from over top on me, and then I have this thing. This is really where I'm sitting. So like, just to show you what, like, look, and all I have is, yeah, I guess here, let me turn this one back on. That's my overhead light, which probably isn't doing much for me, but just a little backlight, right?
It adds it fills up the room.
It fills up the room. It's like, yeah, exactly. And then I have this little thing that I got at Lowe's, which is just an LED like desk light that clamps.
Right. Yeah.
And I just clamp that right over here, and I do shoot it off more to the side instead of like, right. That's that's a little intense. If I was just like hanging out, like, hey everybody, it's Jared. I'm here for Zoom at noon, right? Like that would not. But like off, I figured out like kind of off here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's like definitely the biggest problem I see with like the at-home setups is people like they get these really nice ring lights and you put your phone right in the center of them and it's supposed to make you look like well lit and stuff like that, but it's really just really harsh on your face, and sometimes you just need to soften it up. Like you can get really creative.
These features don't need to be hit hard with light. That's how I look at it. I look good with a side light, I guess, and a side angle too. You see, I'm finding my features. I know where I look at.
And there's different ways you can soften it up besides like just reflecting it off the wall. That's like definitely the easiest, but I've definitely used a shower curtain before. I put a shower curtain in front of a light, and that diffuses it and softens it.
Or like
very well.
Even like some paper, or you did something that you put in front of it. I guess the main thing to take away with lighting is experiment, right? Is like just keep on moving stuff around until you find it. Have multiple lights. You know, if you want a shadow, then you want to like hit hard from one direction, right? And you'll create a shadow. If you don't want shadows, make sure you are using this light. I mean, that's why I have this backlight on, is because if I don't, there's like going to be more. It's not so bad in the daytime, but there'd be more shadow, right? So
it's definitely like an artistic choice. Like, don't let anyone tell you that your lighting setup is wrong if that's what you're going for. So
yeah.
So definitely, like Jared was saying, experiment and play around with your lighting setups, because be creative, get creative with it, because like it's never wrong. It's just what you want to do as an artist. Yes,
that's I think same with anything you're going to do with recording. There's a million different ways that you can record one different thing. Like your camera, like for instance, your lens on your camera would be like your microphone, right? It's
right. Yeah.
What microphone are you going to choose to capture the sound, or how are you going to capture the light? That's really what you're doing when you're doing photography, is light, right? Is capturing light and reflections of light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like bringing those things together. So we got our phone settings, right? We have our lighting and our room created. We have the environment, the space we have created. And I guess the third best thing to talk about would be like the angle that you have your camera at, and how you're framing yourself.
Right.
And like we were just talking about, it really, like, it's really up to the artist here, and then however you want to frame yourself. But I don't even know where I'm going with this.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the real creative part of it, right? Is if you, so framing, like we're talking about, like right now you're using like your eyesight, your camera right in your computer, right? That's going straight on. Like, whereas I chose, and I intentionally chose to use it this time to show a different angle, right? I have too. I mean, I could switch right into this one, and now I'm here. Hey, right? But like that's, yeah. Ooh, I just canceled my video.
Hey, nice picture.
Hey, that's a Gunnar picture too. Look at that. See? So the and it's just that was just a choice. I realize that it's kind of sometimes weird that I'm not looking at this camera when I'm talking. For some people, I get that. Like, but for certain things, I used to work for this PBS documentary series called Road Trip Nation out in California. I think I told you about that. Like, but we shot so many of our interviews from that angle where
right,
kind of like just adjacent to a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Almost like you're looking in on the conversation. It gives you that feel.
And I loved that feel of the interviews. So I think I totally stole this from Road Trip Nation to be like, yeah, look, this is how you're, it makes it feel like the person watching the conversation is like, oh yeah, okay, I'm right there. I'm not talking directly to them, but there, it's, I don't know. That was my artistic choice. I don't know. Some people aren't going to like that. Some people do like it. And that's the choice you make, and you have to live with your choice. And like, there's, just like with it, there's going to be some haters who don't like your stuff. Right. And that's okay. You just have to accept that. That's going to be part of any art that you create, anything that you do. There's going to be some, but there's most likely going to be more people who like it. Right. I think it's interesting. Right?
I was talking with someone about that the other day, and like you have the people that really love you, you have the people that really hate you, but at the end of the day, they're all giving you attention. You know what I mean? I don't really see any hate as necessarily like bad, because they are viewing your content. They are engaging with your content in some manner. You know what I mean? So,
right. What's the opposite of love? Indifference.
I like that.
Not hate. I like that. Right. It's the people who don't care. You want just people to care either way. Right. For sure. We all like praise more than disdain. Nah, not all. Some people like the disdain. Isn't the thing imitation is the best form of flattery? Yeah, that's another that's another, like, that's how you learn, right? Is you find somebody that you like and you emulate it. Like, I think it's cool. Gunnar's room's got like some just like cool character on the wall, like the walls in your room. It's it's like broken down, falling apart a little bit, but it looks cool. Yeah. Like that. I love that look. Like that's like that boho vibe kind of. I
got the treasure chest kind of up here.
I
have some lights in there.
That's cool. Oh, that's perfect, dude. See, so he's like staging his shot, his shot too. Actually, our new spot's got a lot of like exposed brick and like the paint chipping off of stuff. So it's like a cool. I love that look.
Definitely recommend, like, when you're setting the room, like you have your initial light coming on, you have your key light here, and then messing around with like little accents of lights in like throughout the room. Like I usually have like little fairy lights in this mug right here. It's
I just love it. No, I like that you were like, it was like one of those like I'm crushing your head. I'm crushing your head. that move. Anyway.
But like little accents might tie together your scene instead of just a key light right here. So
right. and where your attention, like that was subtle. I didn't even like the treasure chest. I didn't notice it until you mentioned it, and then I was like, oh yeah, there is like light coming out of there. It's like a nice subtle touch.
Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate because like I'm sitting right in front of a window here, so
Yeah.
I get this nice soft light that comes in. Like I don't have any lights on right now that I normally use to
Oh, nice.
But I turn some stuff on at night. Like I have this light that comes on over, hits me on the side of the face here.
Yeah.
I gotta dim it a little, but that adds a little at night. And then I have this guy that I plug in here. I'll plug it in right now and bounce it off the wall to see if I can. Like look, it's like really bright. It's supposed to simulate something. Like this is what it would look like if it just hit me in the face. Like
right, yeah.
See way too much of me, like you were saying.
Yeah,
but if you bounce it off the wall,
oversaturation, lots of shadows, right? That's where you're right.
But if you bounce it off the wall, it looks nice.
Yeah, that looks great. And so that's a really good point to make, though. Natural light is the best if you can find it, right?
Yes.
If you could, so if you're recording stuff for your music video, try and do it during the day. Right?
Yeah.
It's gonna
set up outside.
Yeah. And actually overcast, right? Isn't that overcast days are usually the best days to shoot?
Yeah, overcast. And just for the reasons we were talking about, you get like this nice diffused light coming, like goes through the clouds, diffuses, and then hits you in this softer manner instead of the direct sunlight where
right.
It's just too harsh sometimes.
And that's the other, like, so going to they call it the magic hour too, right? Which is
golden hour or
golden hour. Yeah. Golden hour. Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good.
I'm a music guy. I'm not. I'm like just throwing all of my lingo out that I know from golden hour. Yeah, and that would be like dusk, right?
Yeah, or like that hour where the sun's setting, or like just break right before it breaks the
horizon.
Yeah.
And that's and that's again same kind of thing. Well, you're getting a soft light, but you're getting a golden light, right?
Yeah,
it's not direct as when like the sun's overhead. So
a lot of colors in the sky.
Yeah,
usually pretty warm. A lot of yellows,
right.
Which are beautiful. Always chasing the yellows as a photographer and a videographer.
Nice. Well, we have these. We on the stage at the new spot. They have these awesome lights. They're called like Kino Flow. Do you know those lights?
I don't.
Okay. They're but they have like the bulbs that are like, you have like warm and cool bulbs, and
you
can change the color on them and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh dude, it's the stage lighting, and there's a backlight on the stage, so the whole stage is lit where there's no shadows on the stage.
Oh, that's so cool. That's gonna be so fire. I'm literally picturing it right now.
I can't wait to get you over. We're gonna do like I think, and we have like the scenes where we have like a green screen, we have like a gray like backgrounds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I want to do a school picture day or something like that, where we do like rock school picture day, where you come in dressed like however you want and do like a portrait, and then do like some stage stuff, and like
that would be so much fun.
That would be a fun thing to do. So we're gonna put that together once we get in there. Well, maybe that'd be cool if I even got like two different photographers, like one who did portraits and one who does live shots.
Right.
And just like you rotate. Sorry, we're working out all of our logistics right now over a Zoom call but Rock School Picture Day is gonna happen. Nice, man. Well, that was all super helpful. You got any other little tips or tricks of the trade?
Just honestly, just be you. Like I said, just experiment with what you like and find your vibe at the home studio.
Right. Awesome.
But it just take everything I said with like in helpful ways, but of course with a grain of salt. Just make it your own. Honestly. So
if we were now like thinking more, because a lot of our students, we're going to start doing these music video things, and also we're going to do a virtual recital where everybody pre-records their stuff at home of them performing. So like, do you have any tips for different ways? Like, how would you record? So let's say we were just doing one solo performance. How would you record a solo performance?
Yeah. So Definitely many takes from many different angles.
Okay.
Just set your phone up, set the lighting up, and a take here, like looking at you and stuff like that. And then those can be all stitched together. And then I would if you have someone else in your house, have them just the first takes are on tripods. They're like stable, stationary that you cut back and forth from. But
right.
have one that's not stationary. Someone just kind of like panning around the artist, and that way, just to add effect and another angle and maybe some motion. And yeah, and then like I was talking about in the very beginning, we were talking about frame rate in the beginning. Take some in 30 frames and then take some in 60 frames to slow it down, and we can get some cool slow motion shots out of it.
Right. Way. You see that in music videos all the time, right?
Yeah, we can definitely incorporate some slow motion, and it would really spice the video up on
There's actually a YouTube video. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's like, what if real life was like shot like music videos? Because like music videos have their own like ethereal quality to them, right? Where like it's not like, it's kind of delayed, but it's all like, it seems like it's in slow motion, but it's not, and that's with the frame rate, right? That's what we're doing, is using that frame rate that makes it feel like, even though it's all synced, it doesn't feel like it's real life. Right.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find that video and share it with you and share it with everybody else. It was very interesting. And the guy just talks about like why it looks different. So that's cool. So if you want that's a really great tip of like, say you want to take your recital performance and kind of kick it up a notch. So it's not just you sitting there singing along to one track by yourself. Right.
Yeah.
That's fine. You could totally do that. But that's if you want to get like higher production value on that. Now, like a good thing to do is just you're going to take a bunch of different takes, right? Video takes of it. And then you could bring it into, iMovie, right? Or, there's a free version of video editing software, I think, on every platform now.
Yeah. There might be some apps that you can, Wondershare, Jude, is really great free version as well. But I think there might be some apps that you can bring footage in as well. So it might not even need to leave your phone sometimes. I can't drop the names of the apps, but I know that's a thing. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, well, Wondershare. I'm the spoiled brat. Like I said, I'm overkill. I have like all of the Adobe programs for everything that I barely. That's how I'm feeling. I use Adobe Rush a decent amount. I've been using Adobe Audition for podcasts, and a little bit of Premiere. Little bit of Photoshop, and like one day I really want to get to know all of those programs well. I feel like I could put hours and months into some of those programs, and I still wouldn't have like mastery of them. Exactly. It's the same thing with actually like Pro Tools. I know engineers that work every day in Pro Tools for a decade, and they say like, I still pull out the manual once a week. I still have to pull out or like go to that's aging me a little bit, is that like they pull out the manual, like they have to go to the, go on the website. You Google it. But yeah, that's so like, and you can edit together. Now, if you're going to do that, you definitely want to pick one audio file, right? Definitely one audio file, yeah. Or else you'll find that right away. You don't want all the audio files together. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. So you're going to have to select one that would be an audio file. Actually, I think the best way to do this, and this is how we're doing with our rock bands, is we're recording the song beforehand, right? So you could use Soundtrap. If anybody out there who's watching this wants to get on Soundtrap to learn how to record, I'll set you up an account and you can get in for free. So you can record your parts along to the song. You can edit all of your audio and do everything. And then you just do a video of you singing over top of the song, like lip syncing, right? Which is how every music video is shot. Definitely. They're not actually singing. You're not actually playing. You're not actually singing. Usually I know. Sorry. But that's how it all works. And you,
Like even usually you mute drums completely when you do, like you put tape on the cymbals, you cut all of the sound out of stuff when you record music videos because you don't need that sound. And plus you're going to do a lot of takes. So you don't want to like bust your eardrums open with like playing loud and playing super energetic, because you need to play with high energy. It needs to look like it's good. But if you played really that loud, take after take after take, sometimes for hours, you'd come out with some hearing damage maybe, right? And you don't, rather than like having little orange earplugs hanging out of your ears.
Yeah, you can't do that.
We just mute it, right? It's all about the visual in this part of it. So if you can separate your audio and your visual and do them as separate things that will eventually come together, right? That's how we're doing the Rock Band songs, is we're recording first. And this is usually the way you're going to do a music video, is you record first, right? Now we're almost done recording our songs. So now we're going to switch into filming mode, and we're going to film everything. And then we're going to put it all together. We're going to get all the video, and I'm going to send it to Gunnar, right? And Gunnar's going to edit some of these videos together, or we'll team up, something like that, you know. But I hope to just give it all to Gunnar and he take care of it. He's better at this than I am, and more efficient, right? That's the other thing. It's like the more you do things, the more efficient you're just going to get it.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then we're going to, after we send him off the video, we're going to go back and mix our song, right? And like get it sounding really good while he's making it look really good. And then we just take the two files at the end, right? He's got the video, I've got the audio, you sync them together, and then it's done. So that's the full, I guess, process of doing a music video, right? Simplified into 3 steps, but
definitely simplified. Yeah.
The very, very simplified, because there's a lot of stuff in there. You know, we're talking mixing and mastering on our side,
color correction and other stuff.
Yep. Color correction
Effects.
is exactly. So,
no video is simple.
No video is that simple. Yeah. Steve's in now too. Nice.
That's
Steve.
true.
It's not simple. I mean, well, and we wouldn't want it to be, because, well, first of all, it's much more simple than it used to be, right? Like talking about literally having to cut tape and splice things together. Right? Now we have it so easy in comparison. That doesn't mean you're not going to spend hours and hours and hours doing things, because you are. But
it's going to allot the time differently, and it's going to be the same amount of time. It's just going to be put into effects or other things like that. Right.
Because if you look at the quality of video has gotten so much better, and that's because we can focus now on the little details that take it to that next level. I mean, look at 3D animation, what like has happened with 3D animation, and like,
oh my gosh. Yeah. I get caught in those YouTube videos where like the behind the scenes stuff blows my mind. I would never, like, I think they're out on the road, like cars are flipping over and stuff, but they're actually like just sitting in like this thing with everything's green screen in the background. Crazy.
I have a buddy who does 3D animation, and he used to work. He still lives up in Vancouver, I think. He's in British Columbia.
Yeah.
Awesome dude. I went to high school with him, but he actually, I think he worked on one season of what's the show? How am I blanking on the show? Rick and Morty. He did some stuff. He did some stuff with Rick and Morty,
cool.
Or like I think the production studio was working with Rick and Morty. He was like, I actually didn't touch anything on it, but like cool. But he does like one of the things that's his specialties is like what he does is explosions. Like his visual, like his 3D effect trick that he is awesome at is just building 3D explosions. And if you know this guy, you could just like picture him just like behind a computer every day, just going like whoa, like he's just like he just really does it to stoke himself out. Like he's just like sick explosions, nice, and then He's like, cool, I get paid for that too. Awesome. Like,
Yeah, right.
and that's what we want, right? That's exactly what we're all searching for.
Getting paid to get stoked. That sounds
Getting paid to get stoked. Right? That's what we're all searching for, right?
and it's out there.
It's out there.
It is out there.
I mean, you know, I get it. I get that all the time at work. Does it happen all of the time? No, but you're getting stoked on certain things. Certain projects you have to, you know, you just got to take some projects. Some projects got to pay the bills. Even the big dudes, certain projects got to pay the bills. like the, you know, I could. What's one of my favorite directors? Richard Linklater. Do you know Linklater? He did Dazed and Confused is like the most famous one.
Okay.
Dazed and Confused. He did Boyhood, where he like shot one kid for like 10 years or like he's all about like the very long shot. He did Waking Life, like, which was all done over top of like he shot it and then drew everything on top, hand drew everything on top of it. Really, you should get into him. He's ridiculous.
Wait, what? One more time. What's the name?
Richard Linklater.
I'm gonna write it down for later.
Yeah, he's like, you could go down. You can definitely go down. Everybody should go down. A Richard Linklater hole. Now I don't even remember what I was going to say about him, but he's always in all of his films, and you could definitely feel his films. But he's a very creative director and like does things extremely differently. He's also famous for Before Sunrise, Before Sunset. There's like, he's got like this trilogy where he shoots it with one, like the whole movie is one camera, one conversation. So
wow.
I think it's one camera, one conversation. It might be more cameras, but it's one conversation.
One long take on a conversation.
One long take on a conversation that starts on a train and like moves to all of these different places. And it's just like, you know, an hour and a half or whatever. And it's like, it's riveting. It's very well done. The writing is amazing. So
I can't even imagine how great the writing has to be for one long take.
Yeah, well, that's definitely where where I was going with like that. He has to, you got to pay the bills sometimes. Cause I think he did Bad News Bears too. Right. So he did he did something like, that's where I was going to, yeah. So he has like all of these very artistic films that are like amazingly done. And then he did like Bad News Bears that that paid the bills. Right. Or maybe he really liked Bad News Bears and he wanted to do like, he wanted to do a remake of Bad News Bears and
yeah, maybe he really got behind it. Maybe he was super.
Yeah, I don't know. I looked at that as like, okay, payday, you know?
That was like the outlier.
Yeah. But I've never been one of those that's like, you're a sellout if you've become successful in your craft. There's a story of the interview with the Black Keys, and when they were first like coming up, before they had like gotten popular, they talk about how they would get these offers for their songs to get placed in commercials, and they'd always turn it down because they always thought it would be selling out like to their fan base. And I guess they went home for like Thanksgiving dinner or something one year, and they said like, yeah, we just turned down like a deal that was like $70,000 for them to use our song on like a mayonnaise commercial or something like that. And their parents were like, that's more than I make in a year. Why would you do that? Why would you turn that down? Like, that's more than I make in a year. And they were like, yeah, it's true. And like, we like mayonnaise. It's not even like we're selling out.
Right.
You know, like I think it's selling out if you like sell your thing to something that you don't support. But if it's something you support and you're behind, then you're helping their cause. Right. So,
I agree. Yeah.
And like help the cause for mayonnaise, I guess. You know? My buddy Rob would not agree with that. Hates mayonnaise. Dude hates mayonnaise. But
I'm an extra mayo guy.
Yeah, I'm a mayonnaise guy too. See, bringing it all the way back to Mr. Frank. We're the same person, just 10 years younger.
Right.
I also have my ears pierced too, but I just don't wear the earrings anymore. I'll have to bring them back. I got them.
Yeah, bring it back.
I'll bring it back. All right. Any questions from Steve or Jude or anybody out here, I'll take a quick look into the Facebook world. You can do a little sign off, Gunnar, if you want, and I'll just make sure there's nothing.
Yeah. So like just reviewing what we talked about. Make sure you check your phone settings for the music video. Definitely record in different frame rates, the 60 and 30 frame rates. That'll be super helpful. Different angles. Bounce your lighting off. If it's too harsh, bounce your lighting off the walls and
try some mirrors. What about mirrors?
Get creative with like mirrors and you can bounce off the mirrors. It might be pretty harsh, but normally like white walls or like a shower curtain in front of but like get creative with mirrors and stuff like that. Create some cool,
like a scarf or something like that. That could filter some light and color. Might anything like that. We could be,
or like put the mirror on the ground and bounce the light off the mirror on the ground. It'll like come and hit your body and upward like mess around with it.
Or even like a T-shirt, an old T-shirt. They're thin enough that light can get through a T-shirt, right? And we record with towels and T-shirts on drum sets all the time. Like you'd think like, oh, how'd you get that cool sound? It's like I put a towel over it. Like that's how I made. I mean, I know Jude's a big Wolfpack fan. Wolfpack is like they never do anything. Like they always just record stuff DIY. Guerrilla style, however you want to call it. I always use that term, like guerrilla style.
Yeah.
You're just going to go in there and guerrilla style this thing. What do you got? Like, show me what you got, and let's put some cables together that aren't supposed to go together and see if we get sound through them. And
also, a lot of people have these like LED strips that have that's like $20 on Amazon. You can change it to any color. They would definitely add some mood to your to your video. If you want to get really DIY with it, like a pack of balloons and a flashlight, put the balloons over top of the flashlight, get some colors like that. If you want to add a color to your.
I love all this, man. This is what we need to be doing in quarantine, is finding stuff that like, what do you have? Like we all have crazy stuff around.
Right. Yeah.
That you can get creative with.
I'm like literally just
sure you've got lights. Like so, your parents have like your dad has like a light that he uses when he does some work in the basement for like construction, right?
Yeah.
Like one of those lights is great. Like I mean, this is just a little desk lamp. This little desk lamp I can get creative with. Like like.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, do a take for the music video and have your sister just go like this over top of the lamp.
Strobe light.
Yeah, make a strobe effect.
There's a strobe effect. You can make a bat. You can make a bat signal, right? Cut out a piece of construction paper.
Right.
No. We're just brainstorming ideas. Now it's time for you guys to come up with stuff.
We're just flowing.
All right, G. I think this was fantastic, dude. Thank you so much for sitting in with us. And we'll see. I told some of the rock bands we might try and have you come in and join some of those meetings too, to like give some guidance on what they can work on. But
I'd love that. Yeah.
First, I'm going to send them over this, and they can all watch this, and then if they have like questions, we can have you pop in too. But
cool.
If anybody ever has any questions, you email me, and I can get it to Gunnar, and we'll make sure to get you answered, questions answered.
Always here to help. Always here to help.
That's how it works, man. One generation helping the next generation. We want you to make better stuff than us. That's what I always say, right?
Right.
Make it better than we can, and we'll help you do that. All right, dudes. Peace out.
Peace out.
As always, thanks, G. Thanks.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Steve, and thanks everybody else watching. Peace.
Take care.